Okay, so we have the gun made and attached to the character. We're now going to do animations. So just turning on bones and looking at things. The first thing to do is the T-pose. Export it as a T-pose, you know, with no frames really animating. And then you've got your T-pose that will serve as the avatar. Okay, we've already modeled that, so might as well export that right away. The important thing for exporting, on the right, you see that everything is blue selected. You've got to select all your objects, okay, and I just do a shift to select everything all the way down. And the settings are the standard. You got to do the copy and the embed. You got to do the selected objects. You got to do the plus Z forward for Unity, plus Y up. You can pause those settings. They're in my other videos about getting things out in FBX format to make Unity happy. You want bone deforms clicked on. For the armature section, it's all baked, so just leave that check mark. You turn off leaf bones, and you should probably just look at those settings. Maybe, and then the other ones. Here I'm doing an idle animation. I've turned on the animation sort of editor part of the main time frame. I changed it so that, from the settings in the view preferences to show all channels, not just the selected channels. That means any limb or any bone that you animate in the pose mode will, register as a keyframe right there in that screen. The idle animation is pretty straightforward. You just have them kind of wobbling around, standing there. And I did it over 2 seconds because I changed the frame rate in the project to 30 frames per second. So 60 frames. Now I'm setting up for the shoot animation. And I'm basically just taking my frames from the previous animation, deleting them all, copying the project, then saving it with a new name, and preparing new keyframes. And you see the gist of it here. I mean, I'm just animating to get a nice shooting, thing. And then we do the FBX export. You want to embed, copy, embed. I mean, you'll see it in a second. I know it's fast, but it's from my other videos. Again, you have to select everything, under Armature. Just shift and select all the way down. So copy, embed, selected objects, The Z forward, yes, Y, those two checked underneath. I know it's very fast. Sorry, I was kind of feeling that my previous videos were too long. Now I'm preparing for the running animation, and all the keystrokes are there. This is recorded with a plugin, excellent, from J&M, wonderful supporter in the Blender community. J&M, I hope I'm saying that right, has made a lot of Python scripts and a lot of add-ons and a lot of helpful tools for Blender people. Great tutorials. I learned a lot of techniques. And he has this tool that allows you to record your mouse clicks and keystrokes. So if there's anything that's too fast there, you can see exactly what I'm clicking. It's targeted to my mouse pointer. A foot is down on the ground. Halfway through the cycle, for a walk cycle or run cycle, the other foot is on the ground. It's kind of the flip side of that. And then at the end, you kind of want to end up where you start off, so that when it loops, it looks continuous running. So when the legs, like there, are both kind of not on the ground, kind of halfway, you actually want to go back into object mode and do a little trick where that's what I do here, and then you move the whole thing up, and that will... what I did there was I moved the keyframes in because it felt like it was too slow. So 2 seconds for him to run like that, it was like a slow lumbering. And now I'm doing the trick in object mode. You can see that when there's one leg on the ground, you kind of want them low, touching the ground. And when the legs are scissored, kind of, that they're mid-air, you just, in object mode, you lift the whole thing up, grabbing the sort of main bone in the middle, that's sort of the main parent bone, and everything will follow, in object mode, and then Remember, but most of the posing you're obviously doing in pose mode, okay? Pose mode is when you actually grab the bones. And I've turned my bones off here that you can see how it looks. And it doesn't look so great when it's sped up, but and that's the run cycle. And then again, we do the export. Okay, select everything, export, follow these settings, apply, bake. The geometry leave alone. The most important one is the armature, that it's deformed bones, and turn off leaf bones. Okay, you don't need them.